So many years ago, I was lucky enough to win an auction on eBay for a job lot of old built Halcyon model kits from the Alien franchise, with the idea that I was going to restore them one day. Never happened. Until now, that is. My name's Pete, welcome to Creative Making, and in this episode we're going to be restoring the APC from Aliens. So this is it. This is the APC as I bought it 8-9 years ago. The guy that built it, he'd done okay, but the colour was wrong. There was a lot of filling needed. And there was some bits and bobs missing as well. That little thing there. It just needed a bit of TLC to bring it back up to scratch. So the first thing we're going to do here is we need to dissect this this model kit. It's been glued together with super glue. Some of it came apart okay. Some of it was a little bit harder. I was able to pull some of the parts off as well. I was really worried that I was going to damage this kit because I don't know if you've seen it on eBay recently. It goes for a lot of money. So I wanted to be able to take it apart as best as I could. For the most part it was okay, but some bits did break off, like that bit there. And I wanted to stop, so I bought some super glue debonder and gave that a try, and yeah, it seemed to work pretty well. So there are all the parts laid out. Everything's there. The only thing missing was that little shackle at the front. One thing I did want to do was to try and reimagine the wheels. So for the most part these look pretty good, but the tread is wrong. On the real thing they go at an angle. So I found a model of one of those on Thingiverse and I printed those out. You'll see those in a bit. Generally it was in a pretty bad state, so the whole thing just needed to be cleaned up, sorted out. These are the wheels that I managed to print. I ended up printing them again later on using a combination of ABS for the tyres and PLA for the central bit. Just to give you an idea, this is what they looked like compared to the original wheel. Dimensionally they were the same, the tread was completely different. So I put these together. As I say, I ended up changing these and making different ones. And there they are. So as you can see here, they fit into the original model pretty well. Scale's right, thickness is right, everything's good. Okay, so now I've got it apart, I want to give the whole thing a good wash. It was pretty dirty, so a bit of soapy water there, warm soapy water. And give it a scrub, and then we'll rinse that in cold, clean water. Yeah, looking great. When I glued this together, I wanted to put some added strength into it. So you can see here I'm putting lots of little styrene strips. I also made some small angle pieces so I could get the angles correct. But essentially it's going together like the original kit in the same order. There's going to be a ton of filling to do on this. See all these gaps, bits that I've broken off, things like that. And to do a lot of the filling, I'm using this green acrylic putty. This stuff's really great. It's good for tiny little gaps. Essentially, I think it's just like thick paint. Bigger gaps like this one, we need to bring out the big guns. So for that I use some car body filler. I think it's Bondo in the States. This stuff is better for larger areas such as this bit here. I ended up using it for a lot of it because it cures quicker than the green stuff. And you have the option to do this, so you can wait till it's kind of partially set, like a cheesy texture, and then you can slice it off and then sand it up, and it looks great. So as I say, a lot more filling. I switched over to using this car body filler for most of the filling. The green stuff is really great for tiny little gaps and scratches, but it does take a while for it to cure. I wanted to put electrics in, so I needed to cut the bottom out. I'd already made a battery pack, and this is almost like a template. So I wanted to slot the battery pack in the bottom. So I just used that there, glued it on the bottom, and then used that as a template to cut around. This is obviously super sped up, but man, this took forever to do. I got through it in the end. I just didn't want to break the rest of the model. That's the battery pack I've modelled. Doesn't quite fit there. There's some bits that I needed to clean out. Anyway, that's the whole done. I've put these back lights in. First of all, I've also made these little covers because I didn't want the light to spill out onto the tyres. I also made these front headlight section and did these. So these are tiny little fittings for the LEDs for the side lights. LEDs slot in there. And then in order to get those in place, I made this little tool. So that tool slots in the original light, and then the little nub in there slots on the inside, and then I'll glue it carefully and pull the tool out. So everything lines up. And there we go. So they're in little areas for LEDs to pop into, and then the light won't spill out and it'll just come out the side lights. So on the roof light here, originally there was no hole there, so there was no light in that. Obviously I had to cut a hole out. I wanted to make it a bit more accurate as well. I believe on the original full-size prop, rather than just having the light there, there's actually a kind of rounded cover. So I've modelled that up, stick that on. So far so good. So look at all this. There's 7 lights in this all together. 4 at the front, 2 at the back and 1 on the top. And that's kind of how it all goes together. I ended up changing that massive plug and put a smaller one on there. But yeah, it looks pretty good. I'm really happy that the lights are all working. Time to start putting this together. So to glue everything, I'm using CA glue, and I'm using a little activator in that dropper bottle there. And then obviously this leaves a lot of filling to do. This kind of project is something that I'm not particularly used to doing, but I really enjoyed this. You know, there's a lot of TV programs where people are restoring stuff, and this was pretty cool. I quite enjoyed doing this. So there it is, all together, all filled, looking great. There's a few bits missing, but now time for paint. Before I do that, let's just have a look at it with the lights on. That looks pretty cool. I'm very happy with that. So to paint it, I used these colours. I used olive drab, sky grey, khaki, and flat black. And I mix those together. I'll put the recipe below in the comment to get this colour. Despite what everybody thinks, these things in the film are not green. They're more of this kind of browny colour. And there's the wheels. I started off by priming the main body in black plastic primer. This actually looks grey on here, but it is black. And then using my APC green, I went and airbrushed the whole thing. My extractor was broken, so I ended up using a respirator. That APC green's looking pretty cool, and as it cures a lot browner, which is very cool. So these are the main bits, all airbrushed. Let's have a look at one of the wheels. So the tyre is black ABS, the centre is PLA, and that's it compared to the original wheel. It's a lot better, I think. And there it is, all together, looking pretty cool. Looks like it's box fresh. So it's now time to start masking, spraying some parts a little bit darker. There's a few little panels I wanted to be slightly different colour, and for that I ended up using the APC green and just popped it in a little bit of black. It's very subtle, you can only just see it, and in fact in the finished model it's very difficult to tell. Devil's in the detail. So you can see here that slight difference in shade or tonal quality. A couple on the top there, and there was some just to the side, and I believe I did a couple on the back as well. Alright, so it's time to start weathering. So I'm just using that darker APC green just to put some slight shadowing in. This is not pre-shadowing. So once I'd done that, it was time to do some brush painting, and the lovely blokes over at Orange Brushes sent me a full set of their cool brushes. They're brilliant. I'm not a massive painter, but these guys are absolutely fantastic. The quality is great. They even look cool with those coloured ends. And along with this set of detail brushes, also there was 4 of these dry brushing brushes. I've never used these before, but these feel great, and I'm really looking forward to it. So thanks, Orange Brushes. Also, you get a couple of cool stickers. Everybody loves a sticker. So thanks very much for those. I'll put a link in the description. So just to kind of talk you through roughly what I'm doing here. As I say, I'm not a painter, but I'm just kind of making it up as I go along. So I'm going along with some khaki, and I'm just trying to put in some kind of broken, chipped paint. So my reckoning is that this was primed in like a khaki colour and then sprayed with that final colour. So I'm putting these chips all over to start with. Maybe I should have used that chipping fluid I see everybody using. I'm going to put some rust on using this Vallejo colour, just tiny, again using that zero brush and putting some tiny little bits of rust in there. And I work all the way around the hull of the APC just to kind of break that up a little bit. A lot of this you don't really see at the end of the project. Bold here, but actually it all softens down a little bit. Put some black wash into those grills. Between each of these layers, I'm giving it a coat of Tamiya Flat Clear. So here I'm just spritzing on a bit of water and then I'm putting a wash of that kind of sandy colour. This is just trying to make it look a bit sun bleached. It's very, very subtle. You can kind of see it at the end, but I think it looks pretty cool. Also, what I did is, while this was still wet, and I did this off camera, I spritzed some alcohol into the air so all the droplets landed on this, and it gave a really interesting pattern, kind of like aged, weathered. Yeah, it looks pretty cool. You can see it there actually, just subtly. So I'm just using 1000 grit sponge there just to take some of that off. I got some of these powders, these pigment powders, just to give them a go. This one's obviously black. You can use these on their own or you can use them with water. So I'm starting off using a little bit of powder on its own just to give the look, the feel of soot around all this kind of stuff here. It looks pretty good. It changes when you put some lacquer over it though. So onto some rust. So everywhere I've put rust so far, the colour, the paint rust, I'm going to use a tiny little bit of water and I'm going to use some of that pigment and work all the way around this. Now it looks mad, but you can spritz water on this and it kind of softens it all down a little bit. And as this dries out, it becomes a lot more subtle. You can see it on the wheels there. I think it looks cool. So a bit more shading in the wheel arches there. We can't forget the wheel arches. Pretty big, so you can see what's in there quite easily. So to go into the wheel arches, after I'd sprayed this darker APC green, I ended up using some of this sand yellow. So again with water, it looks crazy. It looks like I'm putting tons on there. I'm using the tiniest little bit of pigment. But as I say, once it dries a lot more subtle. And then when I put a layer of clear coat over there, it really knocks it back so you can barely see it. But it does make a difference. So a bit of dry brushing on the gun turret there. To dry brush, I'm using just the khaki, and then I'm going in with some of that rust. Put a lot of rust on there, and then you can see I spritz it with water, and it'll to help it run. See it there, it kind of runs down on its own. A little bit of dry brushing on these ladders at the back, just a bit of kind of gunmetal that I've mixed up. And now I'm going to dry brush the entire hull. So these dry brushes are brilliant. Never used them before, they're fantastic. So I'm dry brushing that with khaki all over. Just a really subtle brush along the edges. Just kind of brings everything out. And there we go. That's looking pretty cool. So, right, so there's these side lights. We're almost there. These side lights. On the original model, they had little plastic covers, which I'd lost. So I made these out of 1mm acrylic. Gluing those on with Silpoxy. It's silicone adhesive. It just stops any kind of frosting happening on the acrylic. There we go. I've left the protective cover on that acrylic. It's not. And then on the back there, the same thing. And for that, I used some 2mm acrylic. Same deal, glued those on with Silpoxy. And there we go. So that's looking pretty oh, hang on a minute. What? Oh. Yeah, those decals. So the kit only came with 2 decals to go on the front, and obviously the kit's super old. I didn't really know what to do. And then my old mate at work, Matthew, had an old kit, and he donated these to me. Thank you, Matthew. You saved my life. So to put those on, I used these Microsol Microset. Oh, and a bit of water. These decals are super old. I didn't know if it'd work, but, well, you'll see. So you just use it as normal. So a bit of the Microset on the surface there. Soak your decal. And then slide it off onto the surface. And then another couple of layers of Microset over the top. And then same with the other. Get that in position. I don't know what I would have done without these decals. And then we finish it off with a bit of Microsol. That kind of locks it into position. Makes everything softer so it sits nice. And there we go. So that's the whole thing done. Well, I don't know about you, but I think this looks great. I'm really, really, really happy with this. It's screaming out to be put into a diorama. So if you'd like me to do that in a future video, let me know in the comments below, and then we'll see what happens. But yeah, overall, I'm really chuffed with this. This is an old kit. It's very nostalgic for me because I made this kit years ago when I was a young whippersnapper. So thanks very much, folks. That's the end of this video. Sorry it's been so long. I just also wanted to thank everybody for the amazing support over the last few weeks. All the new subscribers and everything else that goes with it. If you want to support this channel, hit that subscribe button and obviously the bell. Memberships are also live on this channel now, so if you wanted to become a member, there'll be early access and live chats and things. Also, if you wanted to support in another way, you can click on the QR code at the end of the video and buy me a coffee. Every little helps. Thanks so much, folks. I really appreciate your support, and I shall see you in the next video.